Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Gloomhaven enhanced with Lego bricks. Today we are going to do the Magma Pit. My characters are currently in Gloomhaven. First, I'm going to go over my ability deck and equipment for each character. For the Brute, my ability cards are Trample, Eye for an Eye, Grab and Go, Hook and Chain, Juggernaut, Leaping Cleave, Unstoppable Charge, Spare Dagger, Provoking Roar, and Warding Strength. And for the Brute's equipment, I'm using Iron Helmet, Minor Healing Potion, Second Skin, Boots of Striding, Mountain Hammer, and Minor Stamina Potion. For the Spellweaver, my ability deck consists of Fire Orbs, Flame Strike, Flashing Burst, Frost Armor, Forked Beam, Mana Bolt, Reviving Ether, and Ride the Wind. And her equipment, Iron Helmet, Minor Healing Potion, Piercing Bow, Cloak of Invisibility, Minor Stamina Potion, and Boots of Striding. I'm going to go ahead and pick my battle goals for this scenario. For the Brute, I can pick between Dynamo and Scrambler. I think I will try Dynamo. For the Spellweaver, I can pick between Opener and Fast Healer. Fast Healer would be almost impossible, I think. So I'll pick Opener. While I'm in Gloomhaven, I need to run another city event. So I'm going to draw off the top of the deck. It was truly a marvelous night, full of alcohol and fuzzy memories. You are heading back to your rooms in high spirits when you take a wrong turn into an alley and trip over a mutilated corpse. What's all this then? You look up to see a city guard walk into the alley, annoyed by all the noise you were making in your revelry. Before you can react, he draws his sword. What did you do? You look and see that, due to the fall, your clothes are now covered in blood. The guard clearly thinks you are responsible for the man's death. This night just took a serious turn for the worse. Option A. Do your best to explain that the man was like this when you found him. Option B. Panic and kill the guard, then dispose of both corpses. Well, option B seems like a pretty shady thing to do. I'm going to try for option A. Alright, so there's two possible outcomes. If you have a reputation greater than 5, you pick the first one. My party reputation is currently at 7, so I can pick the first outcome here. You sober up pretty quickly and explain the situation. Luckily, the guard is familiar with your reputation and believes your story. After a few more questions, he allows you to leave and clean up. No effect. And this gets removed from the deck. Last thing I need to do, I think I'm going to donate to the Sanctuary of the Great Oak on both of my characters. So that's going to cost me 10 gold each. So the Brute, I go from 88 down to 78 gold. And the Spellweaver, I'm going from 69 down to 59 gold. So I've now donated 9 times to the Sanctuary of the Great Oak. One more time, and I can open envelope B and find out what's in there. So by donating to the Sanctuary, I get 2 Bless cards that I can put into each of my characters' decks. Slip them in, give the decks a shuffle. This scenario has 13 monsters, and the goal of the scenario is to kill all the enemies. So I think I need all the help I can get. Also, I have decided to try to challenge myself today. This dungeon's pretty small, so I'm going to try playing on scenario level 2, which means all the monsters are level 2. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So having a couple extra beneficial cards in each character's deck will probably go a long way to help me get through this scenario. Alright, my character is going to travel to the Magma Pit from Gloomhaven. Along the way, I need to run another road event. Again, drawing off the top of the deck. Walking among some foothills, you enter a narrow valley and find a large pile of stones blocking your way. Clearly a rock slide occurred here recently. You move closer to the pile and despair at just how large the stones are. Only someone of great strength and skill could clear a path efficiently. Option A. Attempt to clear the stones from the path. Option B. Backtrack and find a way around the stone-filled valley. I think I'll pick option B. You sigh and turn around. After some backward progress, you find another path through the foothills and work your way through it. Unfortunately, it leads you directly into a den of wolves, and they don't seem too happy about your sudden arrival. You fend them off, but they leave you wounded. All start scenario with wound, and this gets put back into the deck. So each of my characters are wounded. What that means is at the start of every turn, I take 1 point of damage. Now this wound can be removed if I do a heal. That isn't the end of the world because this scenario has a special condition, and the special condition is all characters start with wound. So I would have been wounded anyway, so that actually turned out okay. I'll read the introduction text for the Magma Pit. An active volcano would certainly not be your top choice for places to look for riches. but the information you found seems to indicate there's a hidden cache of treasure at the peak of Mount Ash, high in the Watcher Mountains. Curious about what may be found in such an inhospitable place, you prepare for a difficult journey. After a day of trekking through the foothills, you begin your ascent of the formidable volcano, praying with every step that this massive pot of boiling lava doesn't happen to start pouring out its contents while you are at the mouth of the spigot. The climb is thankfully short, however, due to many areas of shallow rocky terrain. You reach the peak, hoping you'll be able to find the cache easily, but instead you are surprised to find a primitive group of Inox consorting with flame demons. They notice your presence as you crest the ridge. Amidst the heat and ash, you prepare for their attack. So as I mentioned, special rules, all characters start with wound. So my characters have arrived. I can start on any of these first 5 hexes. Quick dungeon overview. As I mentioned, there are 13 total monsters, 6 of which are in the first room, 4 in the next, and then 3 in the last. As usual, I've gone ahead and populated all the rooms right at the beginning because I've got all the monster standees, and I know what to expect when I get to each room. There's no surprises when you play by yourself. So I'm going to move into this first room here. I want my Spellweaver to be as close to an enemy as possible, and I have my Brute come in behind. So in this first room, 6 total monsters. There are 4 normal Vermling Scouts. There is 1 elite Inox Guard, and 1 normal Inox Archer. Start of round 1. It looks like the Guard goes first, and all the Guard does is shield itself and then adds another retaliate. So it has retaliate of 4 for this turn. So don't attack the Guard. But then that's the end of its turn. Next is my Spellweaver. I'm using the bottom part of Forked Beam for a move of 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move right to there. And I'm being bold. I'm using the upper part of Fire Orbs. Attack of 3, range of 3, target 3. Gain 1 experience for each enemy targeted. So I'm going to grab 3 experience. Because I'm going to target all 3 of these Vermling Scouts. I'm going to start with this guy in the corner here first. +1. First Vermling Scout gets hit for 4. It only has a health of 3, so bye-bye Vermling Scout. Now, immediately, I got my battle goal. Be the first to kill a monster. So that is done. Second Vermling Scout, +0. It's only got 3 health. Second Scout is gone. And the last Vermling Scout, +0. 3 for 3. These first 3 Vermling Scouts are all done. And this puts the fire element into the element table. Take my 3 experience. Oh, and I almost forgot, I take 1 damage from the wound effect. I'm going to leave that wound on me for now. Now this gets discarded, Fire Orbs. Brute is next. Well, this is going to be kind of a waste of a turn for the Brute, I think. Start of the Brute's turn, I take 1 damage from the wound. I'm going to use the upper part of Juggernaut to move 2. Nobody near me, so I can't use the attack part. There goes my discard. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of Eye for an Eye. Heal myself for 2. So by healing, I can add my 1 health back, and I can get rid of the wound. This puts the earth element into the element table. Vermling Scout is next. Well, they have an interesting ability. They move with a jump, and then they loot. I've never seen a monster loot before. Now, despite that ability card saying loot, I think the monster is going to move as if it had a melee attack. So it's going to move towards the Spellweaver, just get as close to the Spellweaver as possible. So it can move 4. It only takes 3 to get to the Spellweaver. There's 2 equal hexes it could get into to be next to the Spellweaver. So I'm going to roll a 4-sided die and say 1 to 2 it goes there, 3 to 4 it goes there. 1. Now it can loot. So loot within a range of 1. So actually it's going to loot these 2 coins. I guess that just means it's 2 fewer coins that my characters can get. The Archer is next. Doesn't move. -1 to attack. Target 2. Its attack range is 3 and nobody is within range. So end of round 1 cleanup. Fire and Earth go to Waning. Shuffle symbol on the Scout. Shuffle on the Guard. That goes to inactive. Start of round 2. Looks like my Spellweaver goes first. So, take 1 point of damage from the wound. I'm using the bottom part of Ride the Wind just for the base movement of 2. I'm actually going to move right onto that coin. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Flashing Burst for attack of 3, range of 3, to attack that last Vermling Scout. +1. Hit it for 4. That's enough to kill it. This puts the light element into the element table. And that is the last Vermling Scout. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the board. Move these down. Next is the Archer. Can move. Base movement of 2. Now its attack range is 3, so it only needs to move to get within range of an enemy. So it's got 2 equal hexes it can get into. I'm going to roll a 4-sided die again. Say 1 to 2, it moves there. 3 to 4, it moves there. 2. 1, it's going to move right there. And attack the Spellweaver with an attack of 3. Plus 0, Spellweaver gets hit for 3. The Guard is next. It can also move. Base movement of 2. So it'll move toward the Archer. Kind of 2 equal hexes you can get into. Both of them get it closer to the Archer. I'm going to say 1 to 2 goes there, 3 to 4 goes there. 1. My Brute is next. I think I'm going to try to get rid of the Archer first. So I'm going to use the bottom part of Leaping Cleave to move 3. But I'm also going to use my Boots of Striding to get another 2 movement. So I can move up to 5. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think I'll just go right there. This puts the air element into the element table. And now using the upper part of Unstoppable Charge, and I'm going to attack the Archer for an attack of 5. Oh! Right off the beginning, I get the Blessed card. So I hit it for 10. Well, unfortunately, I don't get my Dynamo battle goal, because I need to cause at least 4 more points of damage, and this is only 2 more points of damage, because the Archer has a health of 8. Still, getting rid of a monster with 1 shot is awesome. So the Archer's gone. Now it's still my turn. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Minor Stamina Potion, and I'm going to recover Unstoppable Charge and Eye for an Eye. My potion is now consumed. That is the end of round 2. So end of round 2 cleanup. Earth and Fire go to Inert. Light and Wind go to Waning. It's inactive. That is inactive. This Bless card comes out of my deck. Start around 3. My Spellweaver goes first. Another point of damage for the wound. Okay, but I'm going to use my Minor Healing Potion to heal myself for 3 and get rid of this wound. I'm going to use the bottom part of Frost Armor for a persistent effect on the next 2 sources of damage. Suffer no damage instead. Stick a token on there. This will put the Frost element into the element table. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Mana Bolt. Attack a 2, range of 3. If I consume an element, I get +1 attack. I can't consume the Frost because I just applied it, but I can consume the Wind element. So I get an attack of 3. I get an experience point. And I'll attack the Guard. +1. Hit the Guard for 4. But the Guard retaliates and hits me for 2. But I can use my Frost Armor to block that damage. So consume a charge of Frost Armor. I get an experience point for doing that. And I absorb that damage. I'm also sitting on a coin, so I get that coin. I think I'm also going to use my Minor Stamina Potion. And I'm going to recover Forked Beam and Flashing Burst. Brute is next. I'm using the upper part of Provoking Roar for an attack of 2 with a Disarm and attacking the Guard. So do the attack first. +1. Hit the Guard for 3. That puts it up to 7 damage. But he retaliates for 2, hits me for 2. And now I disarm the Guard. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of Warding Strength. On the next 6 sources of damage, from attacks targeting you, gain shield of 1. Token on there. So this can be persistent until it's consumed. The Guard is next. Well, it can move and attack, but I disarmed it so it can't attack. And there's no need for it to move because it's already next to the Brute. So it does nothing. And that is the end of round 3. So end of round 3 cleanup. Light goes to Inert. Frost goes to Waning. That is inactive. Now that it's the end of the Guard's turn, the disarm comes off right away. Start at round 4. So the Guard goes first. First thing it does is it shields itself for 1. Now it's going to attack, +0 to attack, so it has an attack of 4 and poison. Yuck. Well, it'll attack the Brute. -1, that's good. So Brute gets hit for 3. Oh, I have Warding Strength. So I consume a charge of Warding Strength, I get a shield of 1, which means I only get hit for 2. But now I'm poisoned. Now this can only be removed with a heal. My Spellweaver's next. I'm going to use the upper part of Forked Beam for an attack of 2, range of 3, and I'm going to attack that Guard. And the guard has a shield of 1. Plus 0, so I hit it for 1. So he's up to 8 damage. Now I'm going to use the bottom of Flashing Burst to move 4. And I think I'm also going to use my Boots of Striding to get an additional 2 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, should I do this? Yes, I will do this. 6 gets me right into the door. Oh, backing up a little bit. The guard retaliated for 2, but I can consume my last charge of Frost Armor. Get an experience point for doing that. And I absorb that damage, but now my Frost Armor is done. It goes in my lost pile. Well, now that I've opened that door, I'm immediately going to use my Cloak of Invisibility. Turn myself invisible. That'll be valid to the end of my next turn. So the Spellweaver's invisible. So now this door is open. In this room, there are 6 hexes of hot coals on the ground. So hot coals are hazardous terrain. Any character will take 2 points of damage if they go through it, and it doesn't get consumed, it just stays there. There's 1 normal Inox Guard, 1 Elite Inox Guard, 1 normal Inox Archer, and 1 normal Flame Demon. So my Spellweaver's turn is done. Next then is actually the Archer. -1 to movement, base movement of 2. Now the Spellweaver's invisible, so the Archer will move to get close to the Brute. It can only move 1, so it will move right here, because it can't end its turn on the same tile as another monster. And that's the end of the Archer's turn. Now both the guards get a turn. Now the guards have the same card as the guard in the first room. They will shield themselves for 1, attack and poison, but there's nobody within melee range, so they don't do anything. Now next up is my Brute. I'm just going to try to get rid of this last guard here. So I'm using the upper part of Unstoppable Charge for an attack of 5. Plus 0, I hit it for 5. So it's already got 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. 8 plus 5 is 12. That will kill the guard. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of Spare Dagger just for the movement of 2. And I'll move right there. Next is the Flame Demon. Flame Demon can fly, so the hot coals won't do anything to it. It has a movement of 3, so -1 to movement on the ability card. Well, it'll move 1. I'm going to go ahead and say it just moves right here. It's flying, so it can stay over top of the hot coals. And Spellweaver's invisible, 5 hexes away, so it can't attack. But this puts a fire element into the element table. That is the end of round 4. The guard has a shuffle symbol. That goes to inactive. Oh, I forgot to perform one last thing on the Archer's card. It says create a 3 damage trap in an adjacent empty hex closest to an enemy. So I forgot to do that. Now closest to an enemy would be right here. And that is a 3 damage trap. That goes to inactive. That goes to inactive. The Spellweaver's down to 2 cards. So I should do a short rest on the Spellweaver. 4 cards in the discard. I'll roll a 4-sided die. 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm losing Ride the Wind. Frost goes to inert. Fire goes to waning. Start of round 5. My Brute goes first. I am using the upper part of Eye for an Eye for retaliate of 2. That'll be persistent for this turn. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of Trample for move of 4 with a jump. Attack all enemies moved through. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 through that guard, 4 to land right there. I only move through 1 enemy, but I can attack the enemy I move through, which is the Elite Guard, for an attack of 2. Ooh, that's nice. Rolling modifier, disarm, and then +1. So I hit it for 3, and more importantly, he gets disarmed. Now, since he's an Elite Guard, I get retaliate for 2. Now, the retaliate isn't attack damage, so that's just pure 2 damage. It does not activate my warding strength, so just 2 damage on the Brute. And that goes in my lost pile. And that is the end of the Brute's turn. Next is the Spellweaver. I'm going to use the bottom part of Forked Beam to move 4. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move right back over here. Now the upper part of Flashing Burst for attack of 3, range of 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go for this Flame Demon. But since it has a shield of 3, I have to use my Piercing Bow. During your ranged attack, ignore all shield values. So I can ignore the shield. Plus 0. That's fine. 3 damage. It has 3 health. That will kill the Flame Demon. That puts the light element into the element table. Now I'm no longer invisible. The guard is next. Well, the elite guard would go first, but it is disarmed. +1 to movement. It's not going to move. It's next to the brute. Can't attack because it's disarmed. Second guard. +1 to movement, base movement of 2. Closest enemy is the Spellweaver. So it'll go toward the Spellweaver. And attack the Spellweaver with an attack of 3. +0. Spellweaver gets hit for 3. Ouch. Archer is next. +0 to movement, base movement of 2. Has a ranged attack, +1 to attack, -1 to range. So in order to attack the brute without a disadvantage, it would have to move at least 1. So it's actually going to move 1 away from the brute. And attack the brute with an attack of 4. Yike. -1. So the brute gets hit for 3. Although I activate my warding strength, shield of 1, consume a charge, get an experience point. So I get hit for 2. But I also have retaliate active here. So I retaliate for 2. I get an experience point for retaliating. And that means the archer will take 2 damage. That is the end of round 5. Oh, my brute is poisoned, so that adds another 1 attack. Okay, so I have to take another point of health off my brute. So it's back up to 3 damage. Inactive, inactive. That's got a shuffle symbol. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it because there's a flame demon in the next room. Ooh, both my characters are getting low on health. So I'm definitely not going to open that door until I clear out this room. Eye for an Eye is now done. Brute is down to 2 cards. Spellweaver, I've got 3 cards. I'm going to do a short rest on the brute. 6 cards, roll my 6-sided die. 3. Oh, too bad. I'm losing Unstoppable Charge. That is a bad card to lose. Get the rest of them back. I think I will do a short rest on the Spellweaver. I do have a bit of a strategy here. 2 cards in my discard. I'll roll my 4-sided die and just count down. 2. I'm going to lose Forked Beam. Brute is still poisoned. I can't get rid of that unless I heal. I can take the disarm off the guard because his turn is over. Fire goes to inert. Light goes to waning. Start around 6. Spellweaver will go first. I'm using the bottom part of Mana Bolt, heal myself for 3. And now the upper part of Reviving Ether to recover all of my lost cards. I'm going to lose this card in the process. Brute is next. I'm using the bottom part of Juggernaut on the next 3 sources of damage. Suffer no damage instead. Put a token on there. Now Juggernaut will take precedent over warding strength. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Spare Dagger. Attack of 3, range of 3, and I'm going to attack the archer. +1. I hit the archer for 4. It already had 2 damage, so it's up to 6. Has a health of 8. Get my experience point. That goes in my discard. The guard is next. Well, the elite guard's going to go first. -1 to movement. Doesn't need to move. Ooh, it's a ranged attack though. Okay, so it does need to move. Its movement then is 2 - 1, so it can move 1. It's going to have to move away from the brute. So move to there. Attack of 4. The range of 2, so it's going to attack the brute. +1. Would have hit the brute for 5, but I've got my bottom part of Juggernaut. Consume a charge. Get an experience point. And I block that damage. That would have been actually 6 damage because I'm still poisoned. I keep forgetting about this poison, but still I block all the damage. Second guard, ranged attack as well, so it's going to have to move 1 away from the Spellweaver, and there's 2 hexes it can move into here, so I'm going to say 1 to 2 goes there, 3 to 4 goes there, 2. And attack the Spellweaver with an attack of 3, because this is just a normal guard. No, that's fantastic. So that attack has been nullified, so no damage to the Spellweaver. Archer is next. +1 to attack, +1 to range. Well, it doesn't need to move. The brute is right there, so we'll attack the brute with an attack of 4. +0, +1 for the poison, so it would have hit me for 5, but again I can consume a charge of Juggernaut, block that damage, so no damage to the brute. And a round 6 cleanup. Shuffle symbol on the monster deck. I think I'm doing okay. I would prefer to have more health on the brute, but I have a plan on the brute's next turn. I keep forgetting to do it, but I'll do it in the next turn here. That goes to an active shuffle symbol on the archer. So the Inox archer is getting low on health. I should be able to get rid of that. The 2 guards have a lot of health left. Okay, still poisoned, no other conditions. Light goes to inert. Start around 7. My brute will go first. I'm going to use the bottom part of Eye for an Eye to heal myself for 2. Now I don't actually get to regain any health. This just removes the poison, but puts the earth element into the element table. Now the upper part of Hook and Chain, attack of 3, range of 3 with a pull. I don't need to use the pull. I'm going to attack that archer with an attack of 3. +1. I hit the archer for 4. It was already at 6 damage. It puts it up to 10. It has a health of 8. That will kill the archer. Well, that's good. Makes me feel a little bit better with one more monster gone. Now, before I end my turn, I'm going to use my minor healing potion to heal myself for another 3. And I'm going to use my mountain hammer to summon a warrior spirit. Again, I'm using my zombie pirate minifig for the warrior spirit. And I'm going to summon him right here as a bit of a shield. So this guy's got a health of 4, attack of 3, and it can move 1. Spellweaver is next. I'm going to use the bottom part of Frost Armor. Next 2 sources of damage, do no damage instead. Put a token there. I'll put the Frost element into the element table. And now the upper part of Flashing Burst, attack of 3, range of 3. Attacking the normal guard, +1. Hit the normal guard for 4. That puts the light element into the element table. The archer would have been next, but it was eliminated. So it's just the guard. Elite guard goes first, -1 to movement, +1 to attack. Well, it's going to attack my warrior spirit with an attack of 5. So pretty much no matter what I draw is going to kill my warrior spirit. +0. Well, goodbye warrior spirit. You didn't last long. Hits him for 5, has a health of 4. But it saved me 1 round of an attack. Now the other guard, the normal guard, -1 to movement, base movement of 2. Well, it's going to move towards the Spellweaver and attack the Spellweaver with an attack of 4. -1, hits it for 3. Use a charge of my Frost Armor, get an experience point. So absorb that damage, and I survive another round. So this is the end of round 7. Earth, Light, and Frost go to Waning. That's inactive. That's inactive. Start of round 8. My brute goes first. I'm going to use the bottom part of Leaping Cleave to move 3 with a jump. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 right to there. That puts the air element into the element table. Now the upper part of Provoking Roar for an attack of 2 with a disarm. I'm going to attack the normal guard. Attack of 2. Rolling modifier muddle. Rolling modifier stun. And then -2. That's horrible. Alright, so I technically muddle and stun it. That's the normal guard. And then -2 to my damage, which means I do no damage. And I technically disarm it as well. So it's got muddle, stun, and disarm. But the reason why I'm laughing is because the guard's card, and the guard is next, all it does is shield itself for 1 and then retaliate for 2. Now, since I went before the guard did, that retaliate doesn't affect me. What a waste of 2 good cards. So the guards then shield and retaliate. That's all they do. Spellweaver's turn is next. I'm going to use the bottom part of Forked Beam. I can move up to 4, but I'm just going to move 2. I'm going to move right to there. Now the upper part of Fire Orbs. Attack of 3, range of 3, target 3. Well, I'm just going to target the 2 guards. I'm going to do the normal guard first. +0. He's got a shield of 1, so I still hit him for 2. The guard's turn's over, so I take the muddle and the disarm and the stun off of it. So he takes 2 damage. He already had 4. He's up to 6. Now to attack the elite guard. 2 times. So I hit it for 6. It has a shield of 1, so I hit him for 5. Still, that's pretty good. 5 damage. He's up to 8. He's got a health of 12. So that helped. This puts the fire element into the element table. So just to rewind, when I attacked the normal guard, I would have been hit with retaliate, which was 2 points, but I still have my last charge of Frost Armor, which would absorb that damage. Get an experience point. Now that is consumed. But then when I attack the elite guard, it has a base retaliate of 2, and then its ability card had a retaliate of 2, so I actually got hit for 4. So the Spellweaver is down to 2 health. Almost would have been better not to attack them. That is the end of round 8. Need to do a short rest on the brute. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 cards in my discard. I'll roll a 6-sided die. 2. I'm going to lose Leaping Cleave. Spellweaver, I'm down to 2 cards, so I need to do a rest. 3 cards in my discard. I'm going to lose Mana Bolt. I am running out of cards and running out of health. So this 2 times with a Bless card and my Spellweaver, so that gets removed. This isn't looking good. Start around 9. My Brute will go first. I'm going to use the bottom part of Eye for an Eye to heal myself for 2. That puts the Earth element into the element table. Now the upper part of Hook and Chain. Attack of 3, range of 3, pull 2. So I'm going to attack the Elite Guard. +1. So I hit it for 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, well, that did it. That puts it up to 12 damage. It has 12 health. So the Elite Guard is gone. It's still retaliated for 2. Oh, but I can use my last charge of Juggernaut. Get an experience point for consuming a charge. Now Juggernaut is now consumed. Spellweaver's next. I'm using the upper part of Flame Strike for an attack of 3, range of 2, and I can also consume Fire Element to apply a wound effect. We'll do the attack of 3 here first, attacking the normal guard. +1, hit for 4. Actually, that's enough. Puts it up to 10 damage. It has a health of 9, so the normal guard is now gone. What a relief. So the guards are gone, so that's the end of the guard's turn. So end of round 9 cleanup. Air goes to inert, earth goes to waning, and I've got a decision to make. I could do a long rest and recharge my Boots of Striding on both character and also get 2 health back, and the Spellweaver sorely needs health. But in doing so, I'm going to lose a card. Mind you, I have to rest anyway and lose a card anyway. So technically start around 10. I'm declaring a long rest on both of my characters. There's no monsters in this room. So all that means is I can refresh my Boots of Striding on both characters. I get 2 health back for each character. And I can choose to lose one of my discarded cards. For the Brute, I'm going to choose to lose Hook and Chain. And for the Spellweaver, I'm going to choose to lose Ride the Wind. In the Spellweaver's turn, I didn't use the Ride the Wind card, although I could have. Maybe I should have used Ride the Wind for the base movement of 2. This is on the previous turn, and then that would have got me closer to the door, so I could at least go to there, go 1. Anyway, I am now choosing to lose that card. Spellweaver's only got 3 cards left. This is going to be interesting. I actually have a bad feeling about this. So end of round 10 cleanup. Earth goes to inert. No other conditions anywhere. No shuffle symbols. Oof. I don't think I'm going to make it through this. There are still 3 monsters left. Start around 11. I'll be lucky to get 2 turns on the Spellweaver. So one of them might as well be a really bold move. So my Spellweaver's going to go first. Well, I'm using the bottom part of Flashing Burst to move 4. I'm going to go 1 into the door here. Open the door. So in this final room, we've got a normal Inox Guard, a normal Inox Archer, and an Elite Flame Demon. This Elite Flame Demon is brutal. It has a retaliate of 3, a range of 2, and a shield of 4. I don't have any abilities that have more than 3 attack. Like, how am I ever going to get through that shield? And it flies, so it can't be damaged by the hot coals. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hot coals in this room, a treasure chest, 4 money tokens, which I'm never going to get to. With my remaining 3 movement, I think what I'm going to do is go 1, 2, and just end my turn here. So my movement's done. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Forked Beam. Attack of 2, range of 3, target 2. I attack the guard first, +1. So I hit him for 3. He has a health of 9. Now I'm going to attack the archer, +1. I also hit him for 3. He has a health of 8. And that is the end of my Spellweaver's turn. Oof, I've got 1 card left. Actually, the Flame Demon is next. +1 to movement. It's got a base movement of 3, but it also has a ranged attack of 4. +1 to movement, -1 to attack. Well, the Spellweaver's within range of the Flame Demon. It's going to attack the Spellweaver with an attack of 3. 2 times. I have Iron Helmet, so I can take that 2 times and make it a +0. The Spellweaver will still get hit for 3. Spellweaver's down to 1 hit point. That puts the fire element into the element table. Archer is next. -1 to movement. Base movement of 2. Attack -1. 1, 2, 3. Well, it's within range of 3 of the Spellweaver, so it doesn't need to move. -1 to attack mean has a base attack of 2, so it's going to attack the Spellweaver for 2. +0. Spellweaver's going to get hit for 2. Now, I could choose to lose a card out of my hand to absorb that damage, but I've only got 2 cards in my discard, and I would need to do a rest, and I'd have to lose one of those cards, which means I wouldn't have enough cards. So basically, I'm dead. So I'll take the damage. Spellweaver is now gone. Spellweaver is toast, and creates a 3 damage trap. Closest to an enemy. Well, I guess now that would be closest to the brute, which would be right here. Well, that sucks. It's all up to the brute now. Next to act is the brute. Well, I'm going to use the bottom part of grab and go for a move of 4. But I'm also going to use my boots of striding to get 2 more movement. So I can move 6. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gets me right into the doorway. Now I'm going to use the upper part of spare dagger. I'm going to attack the archer. Rolling modifier pierce +0. Well, I hit the archer for 3. That puts it up to 6 damage. Good experience point. Guard is next. -1 to movement, base movement of 2. 2 equal hexes you can get into. I'm going to say 1 to 2 there, 3 to 4 there. 3. And attack the brute with a base attack of 3, -1. So hit the brute for 2. Oh, I still have my warding strength. Consume another charge. So I only get hit for 1. And the guard will strengthen itself. Valid till the end of his next turn. That is the end of round 11. Fire goes to waning. I'm going to shuffle the monster deck. There's a very, 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 very slim chance that I still get through this. That flame demon is going to be the one that's going to be the hardest to get rid of. Basically, the only way I get rid of that flame demon is by using my retaliate ability, which I do still have, because I'm definitely not going to be able to attack it, because the retaliate alone will end up killing me. But I've got a decent amount of health left. With a little bit of luck, I might still be able to get through this. All right, that goes to an active. That goes to an active. That goes to an active. So Spellweaver's done. Don't have to worry about her turn. Brute, I'm down to 2 cards, but I have to play them. Start around 12. Thankfully, my brute does go first. I am using the bottom part of Provoking Roar, just for the base movement of 2. And I'm going to move 1, 2 to get right in the middle here. Now the upper part of Eye for an Eye to retaliate for 2. And hope for the best here. Next is the guard. Well, the guard does shield itself for 1. Attack +0 and poison. Well, it's going to attack. Oh, and it has strengthen. What does strengthen do? Advantage on attack, remove at the end of next turn. Okay, so it's going to attack the brute with a base attack of 3. And advantage means it can take the better of 2 cards. So first card, +0. Second card, -2. So +0 is the better card. So it'll hit the brute for 3. I do still have warding strength. Consume another charge, get an experience point. So that means I get hit for 2. But now I'm also poisoned. Now the strengthen comes off the guard. Next is the archer. +0 to movement. So it's got a base movement of 2. It will move so it doesn't have disadvantage on its attack. So it will move 1 and it'll move away from the brute. Oh, sorry, to back up. I have retaliate on the brute. So the retaliate did 2 damage to the guard. So the guard is now up to 5 damage. And I got an experience point for retaliating. So if nothing else, I'm going to get a bunch of experience out of this scenario. Back to the archer. It's done its movement. Now it can attack. Base attack of 2 +1. But I still have warding strength. Consume another charge. That's 1 armor. So the attack only hits me for 2. I'll take 2 damage. But then I retaliate for 2, which puts 5, 6. Oh, that 2 retaliate puts the archer up to 8 damage. And it has 8 health. So that means the retaliate kills the archer. Oh, and I forgot, I'm poisoned actually, so that would have been an extra 1 damage to the brute, so that's 3 damage instead of 2. But the archer's gone. I have a small glimmer of hope that I'm going to get through this. Flame Demon is next. It's going to attack, base attack of 4. It can consume the fire element to get an additional +1 to attack and wound. So its base attack is 5, attacking the brute. -1. So hits the brute for 4. Adds a point of damage for the poison. So it hits the brute for 5, minus the 1 for warding strength. My last charge of warding strength. So we're back down to 4. Get another experience point for using that warding strength. And I'm wounded. But I do a retaliate of 2, and the retaliate can ignore the shield on the flame demon. So the flame demon takes 2 damage. Oh, so I might be able to do this. So end of round 12 cleanup. I'm going to shuffle the guard deck. Oh, I forgot to get an extra experience for that retaliate. Well, I know what I need to do. The archer's gone. I'm going to take that out. So the guard has 4 health left. The flame demon has 2 health left. I need to do a short rest on the brute. I have 4 cards. I'll roll my 4-sided die. 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm losing grab and go. I have to hope. Hope. Start around 13. Brute is poisoned. Brute is wounded. Realistically, I have 1 turn left. Well, my brute does go first. Again, I'm going to use the upper part of eye for an eye to retaliate for 2. And now the bottom part of spare dagger to attack 2, and I can attack the guard. +0, hit the guard for 2. That goes my discard. That's the end of the brute's turn. Guard is next. -1 to movement, +0 to attack, range 2. So it's got to move away from the brute in order to attack. It can either move here or here. So I'm going to say 1 to 2 here, 3 to 4 there. Move there. And attack the brute with an attack of 3, -1. I get hit for 2, but I retaliate for 2. And 5, 6, 7, the 2 retaliate puts it up to 9 damage. It has 9 health. The guard is gone. Flame demon, +0 to attack. Attack of 4, attack of 3, range of 4. Oh, you know, I screwed up before. I took the range as the attack value. I'll have to do the math when I do the editing. But I probably should have put an extra point back on my brute. So the brute would have had 1 health back because the flame demon only had an attack of 3, not an attack of 4. But what I forgot in my last, when the guard attacked, I'm poisoned and wounded. So the beginning of my turn, I would have taken 1 point of damage from the wound, and then the poison would have added a point of damage for the guard's attack. So I'm now down to 1 point of health left on the brute. But I think this is just going to barely work out. Definitely won't know until I do the editing if I pulled this off. So the flame demon can attack for 3 +1. So technically I get hit for 4 damage plus the poison, so 5. But I can choose to lose a card from my hand, which I have exactly 1 card left. So I'm going to lose Provoking Roar to absorb that damage. And now I've got Retaliate. I retaliate for 2. That will put the Flame Demon up to 4 damage. It has 4 health, and that will kill the Flame Demon. So technically, the Flame Demon is gone. Well, by the absolute skin of my teeth, I think I actually finished this scenario. I'm down to 1 health left on the Brute. I wasn't keeping track if I got my Dynamo or not. I'll also figure that out during editing. I'll assume I didn't get it. Anyway, I think I actually... Oh, and I got an experience point for that last Retaliate. So I think I actually finished this scenario. One character dead, the other one's still alive. All right, let's do some end of scenario cleanup here. Just going to push this out of the way. And let's tally up some stuff. Even though the Spellweaver's exhausted, I can still add up experience and gold. Oh, first I'll read the conclusion text. The last of the Inox shrieks and collapses at your feet. Though less armored than most Inox, this particular group made up for it with an almost otherworldly ferocity. And fighting alongside demons? The thought is truly troubling. It seems the influence of these demons is growing, and you are grateful that you have at least managed to push them back in some small way. And the treasure is nice as well, of course. You stow it in your packs and begin to make the long journey back home. 15 gold each. Right, back to the Spellweaver then. So that means she had 1 money token. Since I'm playing on scenario level 2, the conversion rate for gold now is 3. So that gives me 3 gold. Add that to the 15. That's 18 gold. That puts me up to 77 gold. Now for experience, both my characters did quite well. For the Spellweaver, 12 earned experience plus 8 for completing the scenario, so that's 20 experience. That puts me to 204. Still not enough to level. And I achieved my battle goal, be the first to kill, so I get a check mark. And that's it for the Spellweaver. For the Brute, no money tokens, but I get the 15 gold, so that puts me up to 93. And for experience, 16 earn experience plus 8 for completing the scenario, puts me up to 24, plus 182 gives me 206. Also not enough to level. And I'm going to say I didn't get my check mark for Dynamo, although I will double check during editing. Now, I have to keep track as well. For my personal quest, the Thin Places, complete 6 side scenarios with a scenario number greater than 51. This is scenario number 63, so that is done. So I get another check off of my personal quest. And that's it for the Brute. No new location. I'm going to get this out of the way. Bring the world map back. So Magma Pit is done. So there's only 4 locations currently that are unlocked. There's Shrine of Strength, Necromancer's Sanctum, Temple of the Elements, and Ruinous Rift. So I'm going to roll my 4-sided die, and we'll pick which one of these to go to. 2. We are going to go to the Necromancer's Sanctum. I will mark that on my party sheet. I think my characters are going to travel back to Gloomhaven. I'm only 1 Sanctuary of the Great Oak donation away from unlocking Envelope B. And I really want to see what's in there. So I think we'll do that in the next scenario. But that's it for today. So I think this was a successful playthrough of the Magma Pit, although it got a little dodgy toward the ends there because I kept making mistakes and forgetting about things, but I'll definitely figure it out during editing and see if it truly was an actual successful completion. But I think what I learned is I'm going to go back to level 1, I think, on the next scenario, because level 2, even though I succeeded, I barely made it. So knocking that difficulty level down is just makes me happier. I'm probably not utilizing my cards properly. I've been using the same deck for the last 3 scenarios. I think I should spend more time tailoring my deck to the actual scenario, because this one, I'm just realizing it now that I should have used a lot more push and pull abilities to pull and push the monsters into the hazardous terrain, because that's just raw damage. That ignores shields, that doesn't retaliate. If I just push the enemies into the hazardous terrain, I could have done some decent damage. So maybe I need to pick some more cards that have those kind of abilities on them. So I'll take a look at the Necromancer's Sanctum, and I'll see if I need to adjust my deck accordingly. If I do so, I'll do that before I start the next scenario. Thanks for watching this playthrough of the Magma Pit. In a couple weeks, we will tackle Necromancer's Sanctum. See you next time.